Welcome back. Now, entrepreneurs venturing out face many financial challenges that they need addressed so that they can navigate their sector better. Tonight, we have Veronica Okola, an expert on these financial matters, especially for small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. And she's here to help us discuss some of these issues. Karibu sana, Veronica.
Asante.
So, as an entrepreneur, I think the first thing I'd want to know is if I'm doing this on a side hustle basis,
Yeah.
and I want to now venture out to now fully focus on that.
Yeah.
At what point in my financial journey, especially, should I then feel I have enough capital to
Yeah.
start out? What are some of the modes that I should look at?
Okay. I think it depends. And I don't think there's any particular time in our life that we say, like, now I have enough. Even if you put a target of maybe you want to raise this particular amount, it will reach a time when you meet that target, you'll want more and more and more. So the best advice I could give, just start with whatever you have. Even if you've raised like 100,000 and you feel like there's something I can do with this particular 100,000, I just encourage you to go on. There's no right time.
So this also translates in the services and the goods that they offer as entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So that, for example, people who are selling goods, it's a bit easier for them to determine the pricing of what it is that I'm offering. But for people in the services sector, don't seem to quite know how to price the services. Think of people like in consultancy.
Okay.
How would they then decide this much I'm putting into the business to start up, but now this much is what I'll be able to charge for my services?
Okay.
Is there some guideline on how to do this?
Yeah, I think when you're coming up with the prices, there are a lot of things that you should consider. Like you should consider the taxes. You should also consider your cost, and the cost you like everything, operational cost, labor, and everything. So those factors, they should determine how much your product is supposed to cost. Yeah.
And so for entrepreneurs who are currently doing their businesses and they probably want to know if I'm to start, especially startups, people who are
Yeah.
starting, they know very well that when they go to the financial institutions like banks to borrow money to start, the banks will
Yeah.
tell them, no, you don't have much in your statement.
Yeah.
And they will turn them away. So what would you advise as a financial literacy champion for people who want to raise capital? Do we fundraise? Do we go to the family? Where do we start? Because the banks will not give us money.
Yeah, absolutely. So the banks will give you money. It's
Oh, they
not
will?
correct that they will not give you money. But is the cash, they will not just give you money because now you have business idea, so you by default qualify for a financing. We look at what we call like the turnovers. The turnovers, you can build them over time. We don't look at the amount that you have in your account that time to see how much you qualify for a loan. We look at like the money that has been coming into your account and the money that has been getting into your account, getting out of your account. So as an entrepreneur, as long as you have that dream, I think the first step you should start looking for like think of a partner who will walk you through the journey. And partners in this case, you can think of a bank that you'd like to, like, this business I want to open, I want to walk through this journey with this particular bank. So once you identify your bank, make sure like you build your statement, because whenever you go to the bank, they look at the turnovers. And so once you have your statements right, then now there's something called collateral, which normally disqualify a lot of people. So banking, I think that is the greatest challenge for startups especially, because in most cases, maybe you don't have the collaterals. Yeah.
What would you as a champion then advise somebody who wants to start a business as some of the sources that they can actually be able to use to finance their ventures?
Okay, there are many avenues apart from banking. You can also look at the government grants. Once you have an idea, you've done your market research, and you think like this idea is viable, it can sell through you look at the feasibility. Is it scalable? Can it expand? Because those are the key things that investor will look at. Then now you look for forums, maybe innovation forums, entrepreneurship forums, network, and sell your idea. Maybe you can get an angel investor.
Yeah,
Somebody willing to invest in your idea. That is after they have seen like the scalability, there's room for expansion, there's return, because like if somebody is investing in your idea, it's not charity.
They want to be able to,
Yeah.
benefit
Yeah,
from
what
it.
is in for me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talk about market research. Let's now dwell a bit about that. A lot of us will just see a friend starting a shop and decide, even me, I want to start a shop,
Yeah,
You
yeah.
come and along a road, you find like several butcheries lined up there. And you just know somebody here was
Yeah,
not really
or liquor
thinking.
store.
Oh, like, yes,
Yeah.
So
So,
tell us a bit about market research and the scope of that an entrepreneur should.
yeah. Okay, if I give you like a short story about market research. For example, in my village, we used to travel and go to the river to fetch water. So we could like walk maybe 1 to 2 hours with the fellow girls. So since we are going long distance, we could gather in groups and go and fetch water. Then now somebody thought like, maybe these girls, maybe this is posing insecurities, maybe this is like a lot of things they assume that could be happening to these girls. Maybe 2 hours is too much, they're getting tired, and so they
Just in
decide.
time on the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so they came up with maybe a borehole system. So in the borehole, I could spend maybe a maximum of 20 minutes. Then now the girls now stopped going to the borehole, and reasons nobody knew. So when a research was done, they realized like when we were traveling the long distance, we were having stories about our boyfriends, what happened in the village, the
It was a
gossip.
social
Yes.
moment for you.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the water.
So yeah.
really.
So like we never complained about the distance. We never complained about wasting time. So like this person, they built a product based on what they thought is right for the end user. So I think as an entrepreneur, when you're coming up with a business idea, put yourself in the shoes of whom are you building this product for?
Yes.
Yeah. Do they appreciate it? If I can give you like a good example, if look at the flyovers in Nairobi, how many people do use the flyovers? So like if you're building any business idea to address the challenge of the flyover, maybe what you should come up with is why are they not using the flyover? Your business idea should address why. It's an opportunity. Yeah.
In the
Instead
human
of
element.
just assuming like, yeah, I saw somebody is venturing into liquor store and I think it can work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does work though. When
Yeah.
people, line up liquor stores are all.
In rare cases, because maybe they have their own structure. Then there's also luck. So
Oh,
it doesn't
okay.
happen to everyone.
Okay, so somebody on social media is asking, so how does one go about the question of 5 years or more experience when starting out as a new company and you're bidding for work?
I think like the problem that we have, especially the youth, is like I want to achieve it alone.
Yeah.
I want to do it myself. Maybe I have a project and I feel like if I collaborate with my friend, maybe they'll be better than me. So I think if you are starting and you need that experience, you should embrace collaboration with other people so that you tap into the experience that they have. Maybe you have the capital, but you don't have you have the opportunity, you have the capital, but you lack the experience. So if you collaborate, we both win. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then another question here, where can one secure monies for bid bonds, implementation of activities, and other expenses where a client does not provide down payment? Now, the issue of down payment
Yeah.
is quite thorny there. But somebody's giving you a job to do, and then they require that they're not giving you down payment to even start off, especially for startups, it's quite a challenge.
Yeah, suppliers, contractors,
Yes,
and
yes,
what's
yes.
So what I would advise them when you go to the bank, and maybe if you share your need, what they want, they always have products that are tailored to every specific needs of every client. So we have bank guarantees. There are so many options, except like even still bank guarantees, there's still amounts that you need to deposit. Yes.
So still,
you just have to have the capital.
But that role is very punitive, especially for people who are starting out. It doesn't seem to really favor them as much. So does collaboration also, the way you have talked about it, also come in that?
Collaboration, yes.
Okay. And what are some of the other when you're talking about the ABCs of finances that a startup should have in mind when they're doing their budgeting, when they're thinking of expansion, when they're thinking of even paying their suppliers and that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Are there some set rules that you can, as a financial literacy champion, advise them to have in place so that
So
their business can kind of make sense for a while before they can start
yeah,
thinking?
so I think once you know the business, the particular business that you want to participate in or you want to venture into, it's important to know, like, come up with a business plan. And in your business plan, you should have, like, it should address the market research, risk, like what happens, what is your fallback if your plan doesn't go according to how you thought it would be. What happens? Does your business die? Do you continue, and how will you meet? For example, if I'm starting a business, I don't expect like my business will be paying me maybe for the first 3 months. How will you cater for the cost? If you have an employee, how will you be paying them? I think those are key things that as an entrepreneur, you need to think about them. Rent, like if you're not able, if your business is not able to sustain itself for the first days, how will you go through it? Yeah.
In the risk analysis, I normally hear people are told to at least have some money for, is it 3 months or 6 months?
For
So that
6 months.
able,
It's called
so
emergency fund.
yeah, it's an emergency
Yeah,
fund.
so
Okay. So how does that work, for example?
for
Yeah.
emergency fund, if I give you example of personal, as a personal person, maybe if your expenses in a month are 100,000, let's say, your emergency fund, it means like if your basic expenses are 100,000 in a month, your emergency fund should be at least 600,000. Your emergency fund should be what caters for your expenses for the next 6 months. If I lose my job today, can I sustain myself for the next 6 months?
Okay.
If my business dies today, can I sustain my daily life for the next 6 months? Yes.
Wow. So maybe on a sad note, maybe I can ask you then at what point do you
Unfortunately.
say yeah, that this business has really not worked? I need to put it to bed. What are some of the parameters that I should look at when I'm just reviewing my business and looking at it and thinking, no, this one
It's not working.
it is not working, and let's me not push further or maybe pump in more resources to it. Let me just rest it. Yeah.
So I think as an entrepreneur, you should be resilient and persistent. You should not give up. Even if your business idea was maybe you want to come up with, let's say, you want to do an hotel, then it doesn't work. You can change to butchery. You can try other options that are available because like, life doesn't stop. At the end of the day,
It has
you
to
have
keep
to live.
going.
If it's through entrepreneurship, you have to go on. Yeah.
Okay, so never give up. Keep going.
Never
keep
give
trying.
up, be resilient, and understand whatever business you want to
Yeah.
do proper market research so that you avoid those cases where your business will flop. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I think I will rest this matter right here on that sad note. I'm still optimistic. We wrap up this bulletin now. We will look at a story. The images for national soccer star Harambee Stars were exiting the country for a qualifiers match. We're leaving you this bulletin with some of those images from the airport as they left for the country. But thank you so much, Veronica, for making time to speak with us on Lessons from the Entrepreneur. My
You're
name is
welcome.
Melissa Odor. Until next time.
It's a long road. After we had 500 days of ban, now after more than 2 years, now we have official matches. Work on details. This means tactically, especially details, where we have to work on more. And people have to understand that if it's a national team, you have not daily training. And daily training, you can solve all the problems easier. We have only short times, like you see here. We will have with a full squad only one training before we go to the match. So therefore, it's not easy to put all these things together.